to the wallet. Chapter 20. He ran over. With a bit of climbing, he was looking inside. There it was, an upright crystalline object, as if it had been extruded from the granite underneath or had been cemented in. He grabbed it, he snapped it from the substrate. Holding the crystalline, strangely shaped key, he smiled. This had been a piece of cake. Going down would be 3 times faster. He hadn't felt this good in a long time, feeling like he had found treasure. The air was getting colder by the minute. The sunlight was nearly gone. In spite of the energy he was exerting going down, he was getting cold fast. It was like the temperature was dropping a degree a minute. He was bouncing and slipping on the loose shale, now castigating himself for not starting earlier and not keeping the jacket. He was freezing, now desperately looking for the jacket. But in the diminishing light, he had a hard time seeing a few feet in front of him, much less yards. In town, it had been lighter at night. He realized the adjacent sharp mountain peaks cast larger shadows. He regretted not marking the GPS position where he left his jacket. At the time, he was sure it would be impossible to miss. Justin was feeling panic, this turning more hazardous in a really shorter period of time than imagined. Realizing, fuck the bears, what kills you here is the cold. He had to get to that creek and cross it quickly. The only thing keeping him from going totally hypothermic was the energy he was expending. He was going slower and slower. Some places were totally dark, and rocks suddenly dropped off. Going over one of these, it could easily result in a broken leg. Now, in near total darkness, his progress slowed to a crawl. His hands were the first to suffer. He was constantly using them, steadying himself against boulders while getting down. They were freezing cold. He had gloves, but they were in the coat. He was shaking. He didn't even bring matches. This was literally do or die. What seemed hours later, he was standing at the base of the mountain, catching his breath. If he hadn't heard the sound of rushing water, he might have missed this. You miss and hike down a bit more, the incline transformed into a sheer wall. In the dark, you would inexorably tumble into the river below. Standing on the edge of the river, he stared. This was up there with Messere. The river was much larger now. The sun had been out all day, melted the glacier, and all that runoff was coursing down the stream. The creek looked to be 2 feet higher, the water rushing by at a tremendous rate. He had no option. Cross this or die of hypothermia. Waiting for the stream to subside could take hours, possibly all night. With no fire, he would die. He decided, cross with the boots on. On the other side, he could jog back to the town. He thought about the gun. At this point, it was excess weight. Leave it and come back tomorrow and get it. If it gets stolen, buy a new one. That was the smart move. He decided, fuck it, keep it on. Putting his boot into the water, he was in deep trouble. The current so swift it nearly knocked his foot off the bottom of the creek. He planted his second foot. His fear was epic, knowing losing his balance and falling down would be disaster, being immediately swept down the fast-flowing river. Once beyond this small gap, the embankment walls rose sharply, making escape impossible till the river flattened out again closer to town, at least a mile downstream. Only partially across, Justin was into his upper thighs, the surge of the water ripping relentlessly at his feet and legs, his body perched at a precarious sick angle against the flow of the river. He was barely able to move forward and nowhere to grab. Panic set in. He was only a misstep from death. Compounding this was the freezing water, nearly taking his breath away. He was halfway across. He was going to make it. In the middle, the current was unbelievably powerful, nearly ripping his legs from under him. His progress, one small incremental dragging step at a time, first one leg, then the other. His forward foot slipped into a hole. He lost his footing, instinctively lurching toward the opposing bank. He fell short, falling face first into the freezing water. He was being swept into the current, his extended right hand now blindly grasping wildly for anything on the other side, a foot or less from his grasp. The inevitable tumbling was beginning. He was being carried downstream, the momentum was increasing. This was it. He was going to die. Then, at the last second, His hand grabbed a twisted piece of root, his grip now like a vice. He tried pulling himself forward. He pulled harder. He wasn't moving. His grip was slipping on the slick piece of wood.